Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon and here at Marco's we're playing Endless Winter Paleo Americans. This is the Kickstarter edition. We've just finished the game. Obviously it's not my copy, so this is the end game state. It's a 4-round game. It's a game whereby trying to get the most points, obviously, over in Native America. And obviously this was set during the Ice Age. And this has been partially painted. Some fantastic minis going on here too. And what you're looking to do is get those points by doing various things. You can get them from cards, represented by here, end of game points. You can get points from objectives, which you can pick up in various eras. So here's where you can pick up eras. It's a worker placement game, it's a deck building game. There's a little bit of area control too, whereby at the end of each era, round, whereby there's an eclipse, they're able to score points if you have the most here. So in this case, you'll score 2 points if you happen to be controlling here. You initially start out bringing out some huts. Those tents, they can convert to huts, which give you greater control over an area. So for example, these are worth 2 points, these are worth 1 point. So in this instance, this is worth 2, so we cancel each other out. This cancels each other out. I have majority here as an example, so I'd get 1 point at the end of each round. What you're looking to do is you're going to take 2 of your workers and you're going to take a chief. And what you're going to be doing, so this has been partially painted, is going out to a certain spot. You're also going to start off with a special ability. So my chief likes going to this location where the necklace is, which basically gives me, in this case, an extra axe. You're going to monitor your levels over here, so meat, etc. And if you happen to be going first or second, you're going to have an extra ability as the certain cards you're starting off with. And what you're looking to do is play out those 5 cards however you wish. Some of them give you labor, and you're going to use that in terms of costs. You'll also be able to get an end of game benefits, end of round benefits, if you happen to keep the card in your hand for the eclipse. So at the end of the round, you're going to show how many cards you're going to play as the eclipse. Your reveal, which could be these cards, they could be culture cards, which are a bit of a bluff. And if you have the most labor, you can choose where you want to go on the track and take one of those abilities, which I'll talk to you about in a second. The other player can go anywhere lower than that, and again, take any of those abilities too. But I'll talk to you about that in a second. So you're going to go to one of these spots and then you're going to do the benefits. So spend cards from your hand to get, in this case, a card. In this case, it has to be a culture card. It goes into your hand and you can use the ability on a future turn. And basically you have to play a culture card first. So in this case, you're getting rid of a card to place out a monolith and get a point. And then placing out a worker. Next, you can do that as many times as you like, hence the symbol. Then you can choose to place out a meat. So cost of meat down onto the spot. Now there's a question mark because the first one costs 1, next one costs 2, and over here you can see the next one costs 3 plus an axe. Placing out one of these end of round, these eclipse phase scoring, so I'll be getting in this case a point per each of my tents in a unique terrain. Then in this case I happen to get out these monoliths, which we'll come back on to explaining in a second. If I happen to get out 4 in this case on the bottom layer, I get myself 6 points, again at the end of each eclipse phase, which there are 4 in total in the game. And if I can bury cards down here, then if I can get up to 7 buried, I get 10 points. This is a monolith, we'll talk about this in a second. So that is one of the spots you can go, and if you're the first to go to this spot, you also get an axe and a meat. Over here, you can choose to spend an axe, you can get yourself labor as well, spent as well, and it gets yourself a wild card, so one of these cards down here. But you can get more than one of these cards, character cards, as long as, of course, they're different type. So you can do it many times as you like. Then you can spend meat, getting a card, again from here, and that's going to go in your discard pile. So once you've drawn up your 5 cards and that's empty, shuffle this up and put some more out. And finally, again, if you go there first, you get to move up these statue tracks. And again, end of the game, any resource left over is conversion, and you can get bonuses as you go. In this case, you're going to get yourself points as you go as well. And you're going to be on the right-hand track. If you happen to be on the leftmost spot, it breaks ties, because if you're the furthest one along, you're going to get more points at the end of the game. So finally, the last 2 spots, you can go over here, spend an axe to place out a tent, again, as many times as you like, and labor to move that tent or tents, and then you can spend 3 meat to move 3 tents to place down a hut, but they have to be next to each other. So if this happened to be here, I could spend those 3 to place out a hut. End of the round, again, if you have the majority, whether it be huts or tents, you're able to get yourself points from there too. That pretty much sums everything along. Aside from that, we talked about the monolith. So you're starting out from the center, placing out one of these grey spots, and once this is completely gone, end of the round, you go from left to right. You can also get yourself an axe. You can then also get yourself more bumps along that statue track. But if you happen to come across, again, over from here, from the adjacent, from the center one, then you have to be orthogonally adjacent. You can get the benefits. So from here, you can get yourself an extra axe. If you then build on top of it, you're going to get 2 points for each of your color, or 1 if it's anyone else, including neutral or an opponent's. And then going on top, in this case, would give me a total of 6 points. Going on top could be good depending on what kind of bonuses you're working for. Great game, lovely work and artistry by the Miko. This is from Fantasia. Any questions, let me know in the comments below on YouTube. For now, back to the table.